his 8th start in the last 10 games, along with Xavier Sneed, who has started every single game for the Wildcats this season. As Tech will win the opening tip, and that's how things begin tonight in Lubbock. Red Raiders trying to sweep the season series from Kansas State. Picked up a win in Manhattan earlier this season, back on January 14th. Skylar Edwards handling up top. And the whistle away from the ball, foul underneath on Kansas State. Chris Beard, the head coach for the Red Raiders in his 4th season. National championship game last year, the Elite Eight 2 years ago. And the most successful era of Texas Tech basketball right now.
Well, it used to be you came to a weeknight game here in Lubbock. It was about half full, but this place is buzzing every night. See Chris Beard.
And buzzing after that make Kevin McCullough with the basket after the miss on the 3.
Well, Kevin McCullough's really had an outstanding game in their loss over the weekend at Oklahoma State, and he's just been an ever-improving freshman who finds his way and just kind of squirms that early inside position and finishes in traffic.
And McCullough able to complete the 3-point play. A quick 3-0 lead for the Red Raiders, who go into some backcourt pressure here.
It's a little soft 2-2-1 back to man, and had some issues on Saturday against Oklahoma State, fouling too much. They've got to keep K-State off the free throw line.
Xavier Sneed with the handoff to Cartier-Jara. Jara driving inside. And Sloan from the left wing unable to hit on the 3, but the offensive rebound pulled down by Marween, who then travels. First turnover for Kansas State. Davide Moretti, a big key to that national championship finalist club last year, handling for the Red Raiders up court, gets it back from Ramsey. Double team underneath, but TJ Holyfield still able to get the roll, the transfer from Stephen F. Austin. And a good start for the Red Raiders.
We got so much excitement here at United Supermarkets Arena that the entire Gucci row still stands up. Not doing much for our vision partner.
Yeah, not exactly helping on some of these sideline plays here, but that's okay. Folks are into it here. As the foul inside, with Murphy going to the basket. Bruce Weber, veteran head coach in his 8th season with Kansas State, his 22nd season as a collegiate head coach. 5 NCAA tournament appearances with the Wildcats, including an Elite Eight 2 years ago.
Despite the troubles as of late, K-State came this morning and with a lot of focus, and Bruce is coaching them up as hard as ever. And this is a team I think that everybody is a little bit afraid of in the Big 12 because of the tough defense, the mindset they do present, and of course, Sneed and Jara.
Well, you always know that the Wildcats are going to bring it defensively. That's something that they've really prided themselves on. They were especially elite last season when they shared the Big 12 regular season title with Texas Tech. Able to get the ball inside, almost lost the handle. Holyfield fakes the 3, gets it inside, and the foul's given on McCullough going to the basket.
Good job by Holyfield. Cutting, moving, slipping those screens on the weak side. You see the constant movement without the ball by Texas Tech, that 5-man motion.
A couple of free throws here for McCullough, a 68% free throw shooter. Completed a 3-point play earlier. Redshirt freshman out of San Antonio. Had 15 points in a loss at Oklahoma State this past Saturday. More coming up for the redshirt freshman, whose dad, a linebacker for the Red Raiders back in the mid-90s. Makes it a perfect trip. And It's a 7-1 lead for the Red Raiders as McCullough takes a seat.
There does the dirty work. He's ever improving. Chris Beard's very happy with his development over the last few weeks.
David Sloan, the junior college transfer point guard for Kansas State. Jolly thought about trying to get inside. Now tried to get the basketball inside to Mawien, who thought he was fouled. Instead, Ramsey to steal, and then throws the ball away.
Ramsey, not a good decision. Should have went right to the hole.
Sloan will back it out. Out into the post for Xavier Sneed, the turnaround. And Kansas State still looking for their first field goal. Ready, top of the key to Edwards. But the offensive rebound, it's a killer for Kansas State. Moretti can't hit that three, though. And here come the Wildcats.
K-State can't settle. They have to understand that Texas Tech will foul you if you get to the rim, especially TJ Holyfield. He's struggled as of late in getting into foul trouble.
Sloan from the corner. And the rebound and the putback is successful for Montavious Murphy. First field goal for the Wildcats.
Chris Beard was not happy with the toughness factor down the stretch in Stillwater over the weekend. At that time, the ball snatched right out of their mitts.
Edwards giving it off to Moretti. 10 on the shot clock for the Red Raiders. Loses the ball. Looked like there was some contact, no call. And it goes back to Kansas State when we come back.
Well, Montavious Murphy is showing some early toughness. You got to put a body on him, and just wanted a little bit more.
Let me know who the foul is on, whether you point at the player or myself.
ESPN's exclusive presentation of college basketball is brought to you by Wendy's. Try a Big Baking Classic today. Good start to this basketball game for the Red Raiders with the 7-3 lead over Kansas State. As Texas Tech trying to bounce back after that tough loss over the weekend on Saturday to Oklahoma State. And turnover is certainly a big part of what both of these teams do, as Texas Tech leads the Big 12 turnovers for its Kansas State, however, leads the conference and 21st in the country in steals per game.
Well, that's what Chris Beard was concerned about. You know, he said, listen, throw their record out the window. Bruce Weber's teams always defend. They play with toughness. They make it really hard for you. And the emphasis for Texas Tech in preparation for this game was space the court, drive it, but you're going to have to kick it to the extra pass, because of K-State gives a lot of help on the basketball drives in the lane.
Snead around the Maween screen. Now we'll try the fadeaway and knock it down.
Well, that was another concern for Texas Tech. Just Xavier Snead, just the ability just to kind of take games over and make plays on his own.
Averages 14 a game, 10th in the Big 12 in scoring. Russell Chua into the game for the first time. Loses his footing there. Gets it back from McCullough. Wide open three, try from the corner, and that one spins home for Kyler Edwards. First basket for the sophomore from Arlington.
From the point guard on the baseline, Chris Clark has his head up, always looking to make that extra pass to the open man.
5-point lead for the Red Raiders. Jada gives it off to the right wing, and the three's tried by Sloan, and he buries it. Or beg your pardon, Snead with that three-pointer. He's connected on his last 2 field goals. Texas Tech, they've been the team that's been the hot shooting team of late. See what they've been able to do their last 6 games. Shooting the lights out, including in that loss to Oklahoma State.
That's pretty good defense by Texas Tech, but better offense by Xavier Snead. He just can make plays on his own from anywhere on the court.
Skyler Edwards will trigger it in for the Red Raiders. Hands wanted a foul on Kansas State there, won't get one. Reddy fakes the three, going baseline, a double team. Able to get the ball inside to McCullough. He was fouled before he took the shot. Game with 7 on the shot clock. Will stay Texas Tech.
I think Texas Tech do an excellent job, starting with Chris Clark, and then you saw TJ Holyfield, the ability to drive the baseline and keep your head up and look for the defense to overhelp just a little bit and find the open man.
Turnover on the inbound. Jada loses the handle for a moment. Snead, he loses the handle as well, and that is out of bounds off Snead's leg. So back to the Red Raiders.
Xavier Snead never had complete control of the ball, probably trying to go a little bit too fast.
Dejuan Gordon, 6'4" freshman out of Chicago, comes into the game now for Kansas State. Ramsey comes back in after a quick rest. Holyfield trying to get it inside, and it's a kick ball.
Holyfield probably should have shot that little runner. He got away with travel at the top. His footwork was a little bit too quick, but again, had his head up trying to make that extra pass.
And off to Ramsey, third in the Big 12, averaging 15.8 points per game. Ramsey, pass in traffic. McCullough unable to hit the foul line jumper. Antonio Gordon pulling down the rebound. 2-point lead for Texas Tech. Jada around the screen. He'll try a triple. And a good save underneath by Ramsey, getting it to his teammate.
Bruce Weber didn't like that selection by Jada. A little too early in the shot clock for that force from 3.
Holyfield's pass stolen away by Jada. He'll like that shot selection with the slam.
That's why you cannot be loose with your passes or your cuts against K-State. They're very aggressive on the ball with their pressure and then the overplay at the top.
First basket for the 6'4" junior from Florence, South Carolina. And this game is knotted at 10, and then a foul called on Kansas State.
Look at Jada, overplay. He took that bad shot. Bruce barked at him and he said, okay, I'll make it up for you, big guy. On the overplay, just cuts over the top, and they come meet the ball, but also a loose pass.
Talk about Kansas State and their ability to get the steals. Jada, a big part of that. 45 steals now on the year, in the top 10 in the Big 12 in that department. He's checking something here at the table. Appears like we're all set.
Bruce didn't like that call at the top, but can't bump the dribbler and try to fight over the ball screen.
Moretti, top of the key, and he buries it. Davide Moretti, his first triple, 6'3" junior from Italy. And it's a 3-point lead for the Red Raiders.
Kind of quietly moves without the ball out there, but really does a great job of reading screens and always ready on the catch and shoot.
Sloan trying to go baseline. And McGurl turns it over. Chris Clark back into the game, bringing it up court. Clark handling now for Tech. Trying it back in with smaller McGurl. Now Ramsey will knock in the triple.
When Chris Clark has the ball, you better stick with your man because he has one thing in mind. Find the open man. If you leave your man even a little bit, Chris Clark will find him.
6-point lead for the Red Raiders. Texas Tech with the 16-10 lead, and the big reason for that has been 3 threes, all of which Chris Clark has assisted on.
Well, Texas Tech really doesn't have a true point guard, but when this guy comes into the game, he is their point man because he is head up, and you cannot leave your man when he has the ball. You have to stay home because he has one thing in mind. If you turn your head and leave a guy open, he is going to find him. And Chris Clark is just a coach's dream out there on the floor. A guy you can bring in and just can make plays from multiple spots on the floor for other people.
Transfer from Virginia Tech, got his degree from Virginia Tech in sociology, coming to Lubbock for his final year of college basketball. And Chris Clark second in the Big 12 with 5 assists per game. Kansas State was able to tie the score, and an offensive foul is called on David Sloan. That won't help the Wildcats comeback bid here.
Well, this is a daily exercise when you come to Texas Tech's practices. Take a charge, and this is what they chart, and Davide Moretti gives up his body.
Second foul on Sloan, who will take a seat. Cartier Diarra comes back into the game. He already has 2 fouls. Something worth watching as we progress here. Ramsey, talented freshman around the screen, gets it to Clark, and Clark unable to finish and unable to tip it back in. Rebound pulled down by Stockard.
Returning the favor to Clark, just couldn't finish. Had his head up, got caught under the rim.
Antonio Gordon handing off to McGurl. Trying to go baseline. Shot it off the side of the backboard. That was Dejuan Gordon. Here come the Red Raiders. Foul up top. That foul will be called on Stockard. Well, Texas Tech in pretty good shape at the moment when it comes to the NCAA tournament. You take a look there at Joe Lunardi's projections of seeds. Right now, Texas Tech a 7 seed, 2017 overall, and Lunardi's bracket, and looking very much like Baylor and Kansas will both be #1 seeds if they keep doing what they've been doing this year.
Well, West Virginia got off their slide last night. They had lost 3 in a row. They looked like they are back in order, especially on the offensive end. Made some shots in the second half, and Texas Tech and Oklahoma, they just have to keep doing what they've been doing, basically holding their home court and trying to steal one here and there on the road. Oklahoma struggled a little bit on the road, but they are very tough at home.
Sooners losing last night at home to Baylor. Baylor now with a 23-game win streak. Foul called. I believe they've gotten ready for that one. That is only the second foul whistled on Texas Tech. 11:03 remaining here in the first half.
Texas Tech doing a good job of driving the ball to the basket tonight, and already got K-State already in the bonus, but this Beard didn't like that call. Maybe it was a little soft.
Diarra tried to pass it inside to Mayween, but stolen away by McCullough.
Where are you going? Nowhere to go. Leaving the floor with no idea what to do.
Usually a recipe for disaster, and it was there. Already gives it up baseline. Holyfield finds the cutter inside. Edwards with the reverse.
Again, you cannot turn your head and not know where your man is. And that time, Diarra just looked at the ball and lost sight of his man.
10-0 run for the Raiders. This game was tied at 10 before that. Mayween working his way inside and able to hit the righty hook shot to end that run.
Well, I think they can get more of that. I think they can go into Mayween and see if Holyfield will defend him down low. Holyfield played only 14 minutes against Oklahoma State. He's been in deep foul trouble as of late, and Chris Beard has been adamant about Holyfield picking his spots and how to be aggressive down low.
Bruce Weber just got a bench warning there from the officials. As you can see, Bruce Weber not too happy. John Higgins, Chance Moore, Terry Weimer, 3-man officiating crew tonight.
He's out of the box. Oh dear, don't do that.
Ramsey can't hit from the corner. Another offensive rebound for the Red Raiders, but then the pass stolen by Mayween. Kansas State looking to put together some good offensive possessions here. Mayween had trouble handling the pass and winds up in the hands of Chris Beard. And are they saying that was deflected? Okay, it's going to stay with Kansas State.
Well, it's interesting here. This ball definitely goes off Kansas State.
That was interesting.
Mayween, but Chris Beard touched it. So obviously they ruled it off Chris Beard.
Texas Tech gets the steal and the soft touch by Ramsey. He's got 7.
Kansas State really showing their problems on the offensive end, which have hurt them all season long. Their inability to make good passes, and they're just throwing the ball all over the lot loosely.
Jada aggressive to the hole and able to draw the foul on Terrence Shannon Jr. Saturday at noon Eastern on ESPN and the ESPN app. Number 1 Baylor hosts number 3 Kansas at the Farrell Center and the Sonic Blockbuster. This one could help decide the Big 12 title and number 1 overall seed in the NCAA tournament. 2 teams that have been playing great basketball all season long. And Baylor winning the first meeting at Allen Fieldhouse, their first ever win there, and able to quiet Dotson, which hasn't been an easy thing to do.
Well, Jared Butler and Devon Dotson are 2 of the best. We know that, but the defense of Baylor has been just superior all season long. But Kansas, in their own right, is an excellent defensive team as well. And the Bigs of Kansas, Gillespie and Vital, will have their hands full up front, and it's a hot ticket in Waco. Unbelievable. Last night, longest win streak in the history of the Big 12.
23 in a row. The Twine got tickled a little bit out of place there, so they bring in their net guy. Texas Tech does. So during this stoppage to repair the net, we'll be right back. 10-point lead for the Red Raiders. Okay. 10-point lead for Texas Tech as we have a net repair delay. And you think about Texas Tech, Tim, and especially lately, you think about Pat Mahomes, quarterback here, 2014 through 16, before making his way to the Chiefs, leading them to a Super Bowl victory. This is 3rd year in the NFL as the MVP of the Super Bowl as well. Great numbers at Texas Tech. What a dynamic player. And that is not actually Pat Mahomes, but there's a picture of him. I wish that lady would sit down so we could get a better look at Patrick. But anyway, it's amazing when you think about, there's a young lady with the Patrick Mahomes jersey. It's amazing when you think about Texas Tech, Tim, when Pat Mahomes was here. They were 16 and 21 the 3 years that Mahomes was here, which, I mean, when you watch him in the NFL, and even when you saw him in college, that's amazing.
Well, I didn't follow it that closely, obviously, then. No one did. Obviously, the NFL didn't, because he didn't go that high, and he didn't go in the top 10 of the draft, I don't believe. And so a lot of guys passed on him, so they didn't come to Lubbock either and do their work, but he must not have had a great defense back then or something. I don't know how you lose with that guy. He is Superman. It's his world, and we're all living in it in the NFL. I just love watching him play.
Oh, such a talent. Of course, the Chiefs traded up in the draft to get Patrick Mahomes, who sat for a year before getting an opportunity to play. Cartier Jada shows that the new net works just fine, getting both free throws.
That's the thing. You go back in time. For years, they'll go back and pick through all the guys that went ahead of him.
Right.
Just kind of like they do with the Greek Freak, how he went 17th in the draft, and all those guys that went before him that can't play half as good as he can.
Clark working his way inside, and then has the ball knocked out of his hands by McGurl. Young seeing Kansas State being opportunistic on defense, and trying to turn that into some offense. Inside with the layup and the putback. That's no good for Murphy. The Red Raiders come away with it.
Good effort, but a 0. And Murphy's got to finish that. He's got to not back away. He's got to go power at the rim and try to draw the foul.
Butler pulling it out. Puts it back from Moretti. Trying to go baseline. Edwards, he'll go baseline and finish. Tyler Edwards with 7.
Well, K-State's got to do a better job. We got to get down and dirty and just guard your man. And that time Edwards just on the blow-by all the way to the rim.
Back to a double-digit lead for Tech. Now they're around the screen. Step back 3. And the rebound pulled down by Edwards.
Just another force by Jada. That's just not what they're looking for.
1 of 5 from 3, and the slam is converted there by Ramsey. Bruce Weber unhappy. He wanted basket interference, and he's going to get it. I think that's the right call.
Well, he definitely hung on the rim while the ball was still on the cylinder, and that's what Terry Weimer said. And I agree with this call. Look, he's hanging on. The ball's not in the cylinder. Can't do that. Good call.
Thanks for singing along with our karaoke band presented to you by Intrum Healthcare. Now let's welcome to Darius with tonight's contestants for Breakup with a Twist, presented by Taco Villa.
Well, that'll be one to keep an eye on there. NC State on the bubble. Duke victory, or victory over Duke, certainly would improve the Wolfpack's resume.
So, Robert, going back to that last play when Ramsey drove and they called the offensive goaltending, Chris Beard wanted a foul before. That's why he was upset. And I think he was fouled, and he had a valid point.
Xavier Sneed getting fouled there.
So I like this offense as of late by K-State. Kind of space the floor, a little pick and roll and just drive the ball or just try to go right inside with it. And we're trying to pass the ball out around the perimeter, and they're really showing their weakness because they don't have a lot of good skilled basketball passers out there on the floor. When you don't have good passers and you have pretty good athletes, it's best just to drive the ball and get it up on the rim somehow.
Snead, a 66% free throw shooter. Tobias Ramsey back into the ball game for the Red Raiders.
In the season, in Big 12 games, K-State coming in tonight had 40 more turnovers than assists. So that's a number that jumps out at you right away. They're trying to hang their hat on their defense, but try to drive the ball a little bit more, get to the free throw line.
9-point game. And dribbling it on over to the sideline is Ramsey. Out of bounds to Kansas State. 8 turnovers for Texas Tech, 7 for the Wildcats. And the Wildcats trying to take advantage. Trying to get the ball inside, and they do to Mayween. Can't hit anything on that double team.
Problem there is Mayween's not getting good enough low post position. He's being pushed off the block, not doing good enough, hard enough work down low, and Holyfield's winning that battle.
Wildcats haven't hit a field goal in their last 3 minutes. Ready, a couple of shot fakes, trying to get it inside, but Holyfield had his pocket picked. Snead back the other way, and he got pushed in the back by Holyfield.
Well, that was a good pass by Moretti and a good cut by Holyfield, but Cardinal sin number 1, when you're a big guy, don't put the ball down on the floor when you're right next to the rim.
Holyfield will take a seat for the time being. Wildcats trying to break the lid that's on their basket at the moment. Jada around the screen from Murphy. Dejuan Gordon gets it inside now to Antonio Gordon. Step back 3, top of the key. Snead unable to hit, and then the rebounding foul on the Wildcats. Antonio Gordon whistled for that foul.
Well, K-State's bigs are not working hard enough to get good low post position, but give Texas Tech credit. They really know how to defend down there. They're undersized on the baseline and around the basket. Last year they had Owens and Odiasi down there to clog things up and use their big bodies to protect the rim, and they don't have that type of size this year, but they still have a lot of toughness and great technique defending the low box.
Texas Tech shooting the bonus now, as Edwards able to connect on the first. Red Raiders 6 of 6 from the free throw line. Edwards career high 24 points. First time these teams met back in Manhattan in January. 9 points so far in this one.
Tyler Edwards has had a very good year. Kind of quietly, everyone talks about Ramsey and Holyfield, Shane, Chris Clark, Moretti, but he has certainly been a valuable guy, especially when he's shooting the ball well from the three-point line.
11-point lead, the largest of the night for the Red Raiders, and then they'll travel on Jada. Gives it back to Texas Tech. These turnovers are really killing the Wildcats right now.
This is doing a good job eyeballing the feet tonight. I didn't see that one, but must have been a quick little sidestep.
Edwards directing traffic. Avery Benson back to Edwards. Benson, he'll try a 3. The lefty unable to hit. Might have been some contact by Snead there, no call. And here come the Wildcats. And now the blocking foul called on Benson to add insult to injury.
K-State did a good job on defense. They went back and switched into a zone, got Benson to take a quick contested shot, and John Higgins says outside the restricted area. Excuse me, inside the restricted area. He was emphatic about it. He had a great angle. Good call.
Steve will back it out. Antonio Gordon cross-court pass to Dejuan Gordon. Jada, 10 on the shot clock. Right wing jumper just inside the arc's no good for Dejuan Gordon.
There's just no room to roam. Texas Tech, great position defense.
Edwards out of the corner. Texas Tech trying to add to their 11-point lead. Wide open 3 attempt deep from Ramsey. Here come the Wildcats once again. Wildcats have missed their last 5 shots. Xavier Sneed backing in Benson and knocks it down.
Now they should go through Sneed on almost every possession. They have to make sure he touches the ball because he's the only real threat. And Texas Tech is loading up on him so he can make things happen for other people as well, but he's got to touch the ball on every possession.
Edwards gets it into Clark, and Clark lays it in. Good patience by the 6'6" senior out of Virginia Beach, Virginia.
Good patience, good spacing, good ball movement, and good player movement on the weak side.
Back to an 11-point lead. Wildcats looking for some answers on offense. Step back by Sneed. And saved, getting that one off of Benson. So it will be Kansas State basketball when we come back, down by 11. ESPN's exclusive presentation of college basketball is brought to you by Phillips 66, proud sponsor of Big 12 basketball. Thank you, Kevin. Kansas State, 36% shooting. Gordon almost looked like an alley-oop, although it was a shot from the corner initially, but Antonio Gordon with his first basket.
Sean made a good point. Only 1 assist and 8 turnovers so far for K-State. And they just have been dreadful running their offense, but they got to do it a little bit more effort, trying to get the ball inside a little bit more.
Here's Ramsey double team, kicks it to Moretti. And Dejuan Gordon with the rebound for the Wildcats. Jada, one of 3 Kansas State starters that have 3 fouls, or 2 fouls, beg your pardon, so far. Antonio Gordon was going to face up, now double team, almost traveled there, 7 on the shot clock. Gordon with the layup.
Again, that's been their best offense, but they've got to try to reverse the ball a little bit quicker. You saw Gordon trying to post up down low, and he was posted up about 15 feet from the basket. That's not going to cut it, but nice drive to the rim on the weak side when found a little bit of room on the wing from Gordon.
Whistle away from the ball. Jockeying underneath with Murphy getting called for the foul.
K-State really likes Dejuan Gordon, the freshman. He can put the ball on the floor. He's got great explosiveness. He's got to work on his ability to knock down shots and pass the ball as well, but he can do that.
Friday night doubleheader starts in OKC with Nikola Jokic and the Nuggets taking on Chris Paul and the Thunder at 8 Eastern. Then Zion and the Pelicans are in the Rose City for a battle with the Blazers. Coverage starts with NBA Countdown at 7 Eastern on ESPN and ESPN app.
Zion might be giving Ja Morant a little run for his money on the Rookie of the Year awards with the numbers he's been putting up.
Yeah, 10 games into his NBA career, but what a 10-game stretch it's been. Jada able to hit a basket, and all of a sudden, seeing K-State start to put things together on offense.
Well, that's better patience by Jada, not just trying to jack up quick threes. He can make that shot. He's very dangerous on the baseline, and this zone has slowed Texas Tech down a bit.
5-point game, and now the turnover. Fans wanted the foul. They thought McCullough was bumped. Jada, traffic inside. Gordon, he loses the basketball.
This is not a masterpiece. The last few minutes on the offensive end on both sides. Put your head down and just throw it up in the air and hope that you can complete the pass.
These two teams have combined for 19 turnovers. Moretti can't hit that 3. And then the rebound for Ramsey, and then the flush. TJ Holyfield with his second bucket.
Well, Ramsey is just a little bit more aggressive, wanted that ball a little bit more. Chris Beard's fired up on the sideline.
He is lighting in the Holyfield right now. But I don't think it's about this.
No, maybe it's just that his way of saying good play, because that was a good play, not only by Holyfield, but by Ramsey. Just, again, his head up. That's what Texas Tech does best. They wait for you just to make a slight mistake or a slight turn over help down low, and the player closest to the basket just cuts and does a great job of finding that seam at the rim.
Now, if you're Kansas State right now, obviously not a whole lot of time left in this half. Want to try and at least keep it to 5, if not get it lower than, or keep it to 7, if not get it lower than that, and feel like you're still very much in this ball game going into the halftime.
It's just dreadful passing the ball, though. They've got to just try to get it up on the rim and just try to go get it. And that's been their best offense. Drive it to the rim, give it to Xavier Sneed, let him make a play. But now Texas Tech's going to throw a little zone at K-State. See how they react.
Sneed back in the game.
Now they showed zone, but now they're back in man.
Jada was pretty upset there. Telling the official he was fouled as he received that pass. Rather emphatic about it, and rather emphatic there, Antonio Gordon. He's got 4.
K-State's going to stay in this zone. I like this move by Bruce Weber. It's kind of slowed down the pace of Texas Tech. You don't have to face that tough motion offense.
McCullough can't handle the Ramsey pass. And out of bounds. What's the call? Yep, it's going to be Kansas State basketball as McCullough was on the baseline.
Jada playing a little spark in his step and just making things happen off the bounce, and then makes the extra pass after Texas Tech overhelped and didn't rotate.
Wildcats playing for the final shot of the half. Snead inside to Gordon. Flips that one up over his head. And the Wildcats, a strong finish to the first half. Able.
So give them a lot of credit. They didn't hang their head. They've had those gaps all season long, those periods of games where they mostly started poorly, but they've had those 5-minute parts of every game that kind of has hurt them. That's why the record is what it is, but I expect Texas Tech to be on the attack early and often to start this second half.
We'll see what adjustments the Red Raiders make to start this half, as Jada loses it for a moment. And ball stripped from Mayween inside. Here come the Red Raiders. Ramsey finds the cutter, and the layup is knocked in. Kevin McCullough, he's got 7.
Well, this is the way the game started. Just K-State sloppy and Texas Tech on the attack, moving well without the ball, making the extra pass.
Kansas State, you mentioned, often get behind. As a nice finish there on the alley-oop. Murphy able to convert.
Good spacing and good recognition on the backside by Murphy that the defense had their head turned.
Yeah, 2-8 record for the Wildcats in games decided by 6 points or fewer. They've been able to, in many cases, get back into games in which they're trailing big, but haven't been able to finish a lot of those games off. As Ramsey unable to convert, Moretti wide open, knocks it in. Second three for Davide Moretti.
Well, Kansas State's a man-to-man team. Bruce Weber's one of the best at it in the country. He's a man-to-man teacher and coach, but they got back in this game by playing zone, so I would expect they go back to the zone very quickly.
6-point lead for Tech. Snead against 2 defenders, unable to finish. Snead can't believe there was no foul there, and now a run out. Moretti, one man to beat, and he does so. If you're Chris Beard, this is exactly how you draw it up to start the half. 37-29 lead for Texas Tech.
How fast does Dove Dry Spray actually dry? Dry Spray dries in an instant, leaving these men with nothing to do in this ad. Thankfully, we've got something to fill the time, instantly putting these guys back into their comfort zone. Dove Dry Spray dries instantly and keeps you protected for 48 hours.
I am Chris Paul. CP3 is me. I am Chris Paul.
You're not Chris Paul. When you want the real deal, like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
While you're working hard, is your bank letting your money be lazy? Make your money work harder than ever with Ally's new smart savings tools. For all things money, you deserve an Ally.
This is a Filet-O-Fish sandwich. This is Arby's Crispy Fish Sandwich. And this is Arby's Fish and Cheddar Sandwich. Ours are 2 for $6. Theirs is, oops, there it goes, who cares anyway. Arby's, we have the meat.
Meet the first ever Mazda CX-30. Feel alive.
fight in recent history. Wilder Fury 2, Saturday. Buy now on pay-per-view or ESPN+.
Red Raiders have scored the first 7 points of the second half. Not because of Rocky Balboa, but because of this man from Bologna, Italy, Davide Moretti.
Well, the son of a coach, and you can see why. He just is always in the right spot and cool under pressure. We saw it last year all the way to the national championship game, and this time a little run out, and bellissimo. That's beautiful music for the man from Italy.
Tim Wells does Berlitz classes in the college basketball offseason. A lot of folks don't know that.
One of my spies over there in Bologna said there's a young Moretti that's a pretty good player, and is on Texas Tech radar already.
Well, you mentioned his dad, Paulo, longtime player in Italy and Greece, now a coach in Italy. There's a whistle underneath on Kansas State, away from the ball.
Well, good timeout by Bruce Weber, needed, because his team came out of the locker room. I mean, they're flexing their muscles at the end of the first half, and not really a smart idea to stick it in Texas Tech's face. You better wait till there's all zeros and it's in the second half before you start doing that, because this is a well-seasoned group here that's confident in this building. You've got to play the entire 40 minutes. I think Bruce reminded them that after that timeout.
That foul was on Holyfield. He sits with the 2 fouls. Foul trouble can be an issue for him. As a nice job by Mayween in traffic, his second basket of the night.
Good job, just taking advantage of Holyfield, not on the bench, not on the floor, and they can go inside of Mayween.
Ready. Now the ball inside to Clark. And the foul called on Murphy of the Wildcats. Saturday night, highly anticipated rematch is finally happening. Wilder Fury Tour. First fight was an epic split draw December 2018. Now Deontay Wilder defends his WBC heavyweight title for a record 11th time against the lineal champ Tyson Fury. 9 Eastern, MGM Grand in Vegas, live on pay-per-view and ESPN+. 10 to shoot. Clark has the ball knocked out of his hands. It will stay Red Raiders basketball with 8 seconds on the shot clock.
That fight on Saturday night will be that. It will be more than a fight, actually. That will be a brawl between 2 beasts.
What you would expect from 2 people named Wilder and Fury in the ring. As that foul line jumper is no good for Clark.
Well, if it's anything like the first match, it's worth the money. Plus.
Murphy kicks it into the corner, open 3, and that's just the second 3 of the game made by Kansas State. And it's been Xavier Sneed who's made both of them.
Well, when they've taken their time on offense and spaced the floor, not try to just put their head down and make errant passes, they've been okay. And Bruce probably told them that. Just relax. Play like you did at the end of the first half against this defense.
Wildcats now 2 of 9 from 3. Moretti, he'll try a triple of his own, unable to answer. Mayween snatches down the rebound for the Wildcats. Murphy is trying to get it into the post. Jada trying to get past Ramsey, and he's hacked on his way to the bucket.
Well, the first 10 minutes of this game, Cartier Jada was jacking up quick 3s, and Bruce Weber was not happy with some of the selection, not only Jada but everyone else. But the last 10 minutes of the first half, they took their time, they waited, they moved the ball a little bit better, and then allowed Jada some open lanes and drive to the rim.
Jada moving to Florence, South Carolina for 10th grade. Befriended Sharon Wright Jr., who's now playing at Wake Forest, or Sharon Wright Sr., a great college career at Clemson and in the NBA. Became a mentor of sorts to Jada, who moved to South Carolina from New York City when he was in 10th grade. It's a 1-point game after the Jada free throws. Edwards looking for separation, and he gets it for the Red Raiders.
Just a little head fake and got Jada flat-footed, never left his feet to contest a shot.
Back to a 4-point lead. Red Raiders have led by as much as 11. I've seen Kansas State get close a few times, and it seems like Texas Tech has an answer. Jada, a lot of dribbling, now the step back. And a foul called on Mayween coming over the top. 4-point lead for Texas Tech. 15:21 remaining.
This is not good.
I need you to pick me up at 5:30.
and then everybody runs.
What is he doing? You missed the spot.
This college application, I gotta get all my references. It's just a lot.
I can get used to having my own chauffeur.
Oh, yeah?
No texting.
All right.
Watch out for dogs.
I got it, I know.
Don't let Trevor drive.
Step into the open wide. Watch the future come alive.
Meet the first ever Mazda CX-30. Feel alive.
I got some fries, some nuggets, ooh, double cheeseburger, a cookie. There's 5 things here, so I'm thinking $7.
It's actually just $4.
It's $4. It's an awesome combo.
Get a double cheeseburger or any of these sandwiches in the 5 for $4. Your way, way better.
I am Chris Paul. CP3 is me. I am Chris Paul.
You're not Chris Paul. When you want the real deal, like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
How fast does Dove Dry Spray actually dry? Dry Spray dries in an instant, leaving these men with nothing to do in this ad. Thankfully, we've got something to fill the time, instantly putting these guys back into their comfort zone. Dove Dry Spray dries instantly and keeps you protected for 48 hours.
The only thing that makes T-Mobile's new offer on iPhone 11 better is the people you share it with. So right now, switch to T-Mobile and get 2 lines of unlimited for only $90 and 2 iPhone 11s on us. All on our newest, most powerful signal that goes farther than ever before. Hurry into T-Mobile now and get 2 lines of unlimited for only $90 and 2 iPhone 11s on us. Only at T-Mobile.
Yes!
Yes?
Yes? Yes, sure.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, no problem.
Yes.
Yes. Yes, 1,000 times yes.
Discover. Accepted at over 95% of places in the U.S.
ESPN's exclusive presentation of college basketball is brought to you by Phillips 66, proud sponsor of Big 12 basketball. Always good to catch up with some of my fan club tip.
Nice. Could have put the logo on there. The old Astro logo.
Some Astros fans. First spring training game coming up on Saturday. 4-point lead here for Texas Tech. And moments ago, Bruce Weber and Cartier Jada getting into it before going into the huddle. Both of them showing their frustration there.
I wonder if Cartier knows that that man's won 472 games. So players play, coaches coach. Bruce is trying to coach him up. He doesn't like his shot selection. That's his prerogative. And I would say he hasn't made enough tonight to be mouthing off to one of the best coaches around, in my opinion.
A steal there for Sneed, and TJ Holyfield committing the foul, as you see Jada there on the bench. 3 steals and 8 points for him so far.
And listen, emotion is part of the game, and some coaches understand that, and they'll let it run off their back. They'll vent, they'll let the player vent, and then they'll move on. And I'm sure we'll see Jada back in the game, and all will be forgotten.
Holyfield, by the way, just picked up his 3rd foul. He had just gotten back into the game after taking a seat after he got his 2nd foul. Sneed can't finish. Antonio Gordon cannot either, but he'll head to the line for a couple.
Well, that's the issue with Texas Tech on occasion, and that's what Chris Beard talked to us a little bit about today. TJ Holyfield picking his spots out there. He's so valuable because they don't have any backup presence in the middle, per se, that Chris will trust for major minutes to play against the elite of this conference up front. And, you know, K-State's got some bigs now, and they're going to take advantage of it, not only looking to post up, but on the offensive glass as well.
54% free throw shooter Gordon, an empty trip this time around. And still a 4-point lead for Texas Tech. Ramsey wanted to drive to the basket. Snead able to cut him off. Ramsey, a lot of dribbling here. Now gets inside and hits the right-handed runner.
Well, that's not necessarily in the Texas Tech playbook, their motion offense, all that dribbling. But when you've got a guy that talented, if he finds an open lane, you go.
Sloan trying to shake Moretti. And Sloan stays with it. Nice job by David Sloan for his first basket.
I'm not sure how he found an open alley down there. Everything was closed up, but good vision to finish off in traffic for Sloan.
On the baseline, Terrence Shannon fouled as he tries to drive.
And Jahmias Ramsey, we've seen it as of late with the three-point production, but this is what he can do and why the NBA really likes him as well. Just get where he wants to go off the bounce.
And there's a question as to whether Jahmias Ramsey is just going to be one and done here in Lubbock. Moretti loses the basketball. Sloan quickly back up court, doesn't have the numbers. And a foul is called on Texas Tech. Bailed out Sloan there.
Well, again, you can't be loose with the ball against this K-State defense. They are long and athletic and very pesky on the basketball. And that time, Moretti made an unusual move for him. He kind of got caught in the middle with nowhere to go.
So Snead at the line for a pair here.
It's not really Davide Moretti's game, and usually you don't see him do that. He's usually moving without the ball, catch and shoot, makes quick passes, and then good decisions.
It's going to be interesting to see how this develops too. You mentioned Holyfield and his presence inside, and the big loss when he's out of the game. Right now sitting with the 3 fouls. We'll see what Texas Tech tries to do to create some presence down low, even with Holyfield, but really hard to replace him when he's not out there. Kansas State within 2. Ramsey, wild pass into the corner. But Edwards able to corral it. McCullough unable to hit the runner. And then a foul called on Texas Tech. Fans here don't like it. They thought Shannon had that clean from McGurl, but the officials didn't see it that way. And, well, their opinion's the one that matters.
There's a lot of contact on that drive into the lane as well.
Big 12 now on ESPN Plus, a must-have for Big 12 basketball fans. Exclusive home for #1 Baylor and Kansas State Tuesday at 8 Eastern. Plus, Baylor's back on March 7th, take on number 17 West Virginia, and TCU against number 3 Kansas. Coming up on March 4th. Sign up today at ESPNplus.com/Big 12. Open 3, McGurl unable to connect. 3-pointers haven't been falling for Kansas State tonight. They'll try another one, though, with Snead unable to hit that one. He's got both of the made threes for Kansas State tonight.
I thought Snead should have drove it right to the rim. He had an alley on that wing.
Foul line jumper. That's off the back rim for McCullough. And out of bounds to Kansas State after the officials confirm. Look at the way things have been going in the Big 12 so far this year. Texas Tech right behind Baylor and Kansas. Texas with the win over TCU earlier. That helps out the Longhorns and Shaka Smart.
Well, the home court's obviously been huge in this league, except when you're playing Baylor.
Yeah.
They've had no problem on the road, and can't wait for that game on Saturday.
6 to shoot, and the pass stolen away by Clark. Moretti also got his hand on it for Texas Tech. Clark trying to bounce it baseline, and that's out of bounds off the hands of Shannon.
Trying to go too quickly. Chris Clark usually takes his time, lets the offense develop before he attacks, but that time tried to squeeze one in.
And now Holyfield will come back into the game for the Red Raiders. And again, something worth watching here is Holyfield, when he's in this ball game, 3 fouls, and he's fouled out 5 times this year. And that's been an issue for him. Chris Beard talking about that with us earlier today. Trying to keep him on the floor, because when he's on the floor, Holyfield can do a lot of things for the Red Raiders with scoring and rebounding.
Well, that was a major problem in Stillwater over the weekend. He only played 14+ minutes, and they need him out there on the floor. He's too valuable on both ends.
A lot of fouling out of that game against Oklahoma State. Gordon, the rebound off the miss, but then has his shot rejected. Moretti back the other way. Looked like he got bumped. No call. The layup's no good, but he draws the foul. A lot of contact on Moretti's drive to the basket. 2-point lead for Texas Tech. It's Kansas State trying to get on top.
After being a part of millions of
Kevin Shaw in studio. Duke riding a 7-game win streak. It's been this kind of night, though, for DJ Funderburk and a desperate NC State team.
Just being active, being aggressive, finding a way to score the basketball, an 11-point lead right now.
Over on ESPN, Robert.
Thank you, Kevin. Can only imagine what that atmosphere is like in Raleigh right now. And I'd have to think, if you're any coach, but you take Coach K at Duke, Tim, you play a hungry team like NC State that's fighting for to just get into the NCAA tournament. Those teams can be dangerous this time of year, right?
Well, there's no doubt about it. Kevin Keatts done a great job at NC State, and they play with a little bit of swagger that Kevin has developed over the last few years, and this program is not afraid. They're going to space the floor, shoot a lot of threes, and they're raining them down tonight.
Hoping to pull off the big upset. Kansas State and Texas Tech now a 4-point game.
Under that timeout, Texas Tech going to a 1-3-1 half-court zone, and pretty good job identifying it by K-State. They spaced the court, got it down to the baseline, got a good look.
Texas Tech foul on Avery Benson, second on him, former walk-on. And it'll send the girl to the line, as Kansas State will be shooting on fouls the rest of the ball game.
Well, K-State got comfortable at the end of the first half, just driving the ball to the rim and not trying to overpass or pass into tight areas, and it's paid off for them, and their defense has stepped up as well. And Jada's back in the game after that little tiff with his coach, so all is forgotten and forgiven.
See that record in close ball games and not making your free throws, especially on the front of the 1-and-1, certainly doesn't help make that record any better for the Wildcats. Still a 4-point lead for Texas Tech. Holyfield with the 3 fouls, and he's able to draw the foul there, driving at Antonio Gordon. Second on Gordon.
Gordon's got to do a better job, and Bruce is barking at him over on the sidelines of getting up on Holyfield's right hand. He let him do a straight line drive right to the rim. He's got to get on his right hand and force him back to the left.
Into the corner as Ramsey gets it back. Edwards to Ramsey, now back to Edwards, 9 to shoot. Baseline jumpers no good for Holyfield as the weak side rebounds pulled down by Kansas State.
That was good offense by Texas Tech. They probed, they drove into the lane, they drew the help, and they kicked to the open man.
Dejuan Gordon getting it underneath, loses it, and then commits the foul after Moretti took it away from him.
Again, a little bit too tight down there. K-State's got to take their time, space the floor a little bit better, not try to squeeze the ball into tight areas.
They're going to call that foul on Antonio Gordon. That's his third, so he takes a seat. It's Texas Tech. It seems like we've kind of been stuck right here between a 1-point, 4-point game. It's a 3-point game at the half. Red Raiders led by as much as 11 in the first. Ramsey, three top of the key, no good, and Snead flies in for the rebound for the Wildcats.
K-State's doing a great job defensively. They are contesting everything, and it's been one and done.
Odier Jada back into the ball game. Had that heated discussion with Bruce Weber earlier. Drives to the basket and able to hit.
Well, that's what Bruce wanted, though. He wants him to take his time, not take 8 dribbles, but 2 or 3 dribbles and get all the way to the rim and show his athleticism.
Miscommunication there. Jada takes advantage, and Jada with the razzle-dazzle, and doesn't work out too well for him. Moretti. Oh, that's a big swing right there.
Oh,
Jada tried the windmill and missed it, and then Moretti hits a 3.
Oh, great hustle, great defense. The pressure on the basketball.
The Wildcats called the timeout.
This was a great drive to the rim, and the athleticism shown, and this is what he should have done on the next possession. Save this for the summer when the coaches are on vacation. Not tonight.
He thought he was in the slam dunk contest.
Well, that's a 0 if I'm grading.
You get do-overs in the slam dunk contest. You don't get do-overs in a game like that, though.
The lights are on. They're keeping score. This is the real deal. That, my friend, gets you a ticket to the bench.
And he had just gotten off the bench. Sports Center tonight after number 6 Duke at NC State with Kenny Mayne and John Anderson. I'll have a Zion Williamson interview. Plus the NBA's best and worst first half performances and a Wilder Fury update from Las Vegas. Sports Center after ACC Hoops on ESPN and the ESPN app.
Well, that's a punch in the gut to K-State, but they've played a very good basketball game. They've played with a lot of toughness, a lot of confidence since the middle part of the first half. They've got to just regroup, okay? It's one play and move on. And Jada knows he made a mistake. He's going to sit there for a minute, but Bruce will put him right back in the game. He's too valuable.
Sloan handling the point right now. Trying to get it inside. And an offensive foul called on Kansas State. Murphy called for that one, his 4th.
Now, when it rains, it pours, and you've got to get your team regrouped here on the defensive end and start being aggressive on the basketball. Listen, Jada made a horrible play, what he did with the dunk, but let's face it, he did play some really excellent defense, and their defense has given Texas Tech a lot of problems this half.
Beg your pardon, it's Mayween with the foul, and it is his 4th foul. Mayween takes a seat on the bench as Levi Stockard comes into the game for Kansas State. 10 on the shot clock. Moretti, as McGurl tried to take it out of his hands. Ramsey unable to connect. And it will be Red Raiders basketball. Less than 9 remaining in the game.
That's unbelievable. The game of basketball, how one play can swing the momentum and all the bounces and all the calls your way.
Holyfield thought about the 3. Ramsey around the Holyfield screen. Eight to shoot. Moretti. Step back. And Murphy with the rebound for the Wildcats. Lob down low. Stockard loses it. Now finds the cutter, and Murphy slams it home.
Well, good job by Stockard to stay with the play. Murphy with the presence of mind to attack the rim. Saw that lane right to the rack.
3-point game.
K-State back in that zone that was so successful at the end of the first half.
It was only a matter of time, right, before they went back to that. Ramsey from the corner. Big bucket for Texas Tech.
You have to know where he is on the floor. He's been red hot as of late, and now another quick three the other way.
And Snead unable to answer. Kansas State 2 for 14 from 3-point range tonight. Although Snead does have both of their makes.
Bruce very upset that they didn't know where Ramsey was in that corner. They were standing right next to him, but weren't close enough.
Edwards backing his way in. Now tries the fade away. Wildcats looking to cut into this 6-point deficit. Texas Tech trying to sweep the season series. They've won 5 in a row against the Wildcats here in Lubbock. Beat them earlier this year in Manhattan. 7 to shoot. Sloan driving against Holyfield, who gets the rejection. Fast break opportunity. Edwards. 14 for Kyler Edwards. And Bruce Weber wants to talk it over.
K-State trying to hang it with some aggressive play around the rim, but the three in the corner not aware where their red-hot three-point shooter is, and this is what you do in transition. You just lay it up. 2 points is 2 points.
How fast does Dove Dry Spray actually dry? Dry Spray dries in an instant, leaving these men with nothing to do in this ad. Thankfully, we've got something to fill the time, instantly putting these guys back into their comfort zone. Dove Dry Spray dries instantly and keeps you protected for 48 hours.
There are plenty of road closures you're going to want to know about if you're planning to hit the slopes today. And we're just getting word that the highway is a complete parking lot. There's just no movement at all down there.
Land Rover, above and beyond.
If you haven't tried Taco Bell's Breakfast Crunch Wrap, filled with crispy bacon, scrambled eggs, and an entire hash brown, then consider this your wake-up call. Wake up to the Breakfast Crunch Wrap at Taco Bell. Order ahead and have it waiting.
We're destined for greatness. Nobody
He's a big-time PT Beer. Solid goal player.
A sensational sophomore guard. You lead at both ends of the court.
Oh, we got a good one, man. Big 12 basketball.
A Sonic blockbuster season continues. Number 3 Kansas, number 1 Baylor. Saturday at noon on ESPN.
It's coming. Your time to get on the water, find the fish, and stay in the zone. So get on the water with the world's #1 selling fishing boats, plus electronics and trolling motors from Bass Pro Shops and Cabela's. Now receive up to a $750 gift card with the purchase of select Tracker, Nitro, and Sun Tracker boats. Bass Pro Shops and Cabela's. Your adventure starts here.
I don't know, our relationship's just kind of boring.
You're not alone. I used to have a limited selection of shows on demand. And let me tell you, it got very boring. I got DirecTV last week, and they have more than 50,000 titles to choose from.
But what about my problems?
Classic narcissist.
What was that?
Nothing.
TV without 50,000 titles on demand is just kind of TV. Don't just kind of TV, DirecTV. Tune to channel 1000 to start watching.
ESPN's exclusive presentation of college basketball is brought to you by Wendy's. Try a Big Bacon Classic today. Spirited student section here at United Supermarkets Arena in Lubbock. They certainly like what they've seen from the Red Raiders. 8-point lead for Texas Tech. It was a 3-point game at the half. It's Kansas State. Bruce Weber's team trying to get the offensive momentum back here. They've missed 2 of their last 10 shots, the Wildcats have. Or have made 2 of their last 10. And the kick ball there will keep it with Kansas State.
Again, Texas Tech coming out of that timeout with a little 1-3-1 just to give them a different look. And Bruce Weber's out of timeouts, but that's okay. You're on the road. You manage the game a lot differently on the road and when you're at home. And I like those timeouts he's used. He's tried to just hang in this game, and they're still right there. And I'll probably have to go back to Jada, though, one more time in another minute or 2.
5 seconds to shoot. Stockard finds the cutter. Murphy. And the foul committed before the shot. We'll stay with Kansas State. Actually a 1-and-1 now, so free throws here for Murphy. There's Jada on the bench. And I agree with you, Tim. I mean, obviously there's a bit of a give and take with Jada, but you have to figure for Kansas State to win this game, Jada needs to be a part of that.
Well, you know, it's the build-up, though. It's just like managing your children. It's like, it's not one thing, but it's 2. It's like, how many times do we have to tell you before you learn? You know, first he comes out of the game and he's barking at his coach, but he's just trying to coach him. And then he does that with the dunk. But, you know, he's a high-energy player and seems like a pretty good teammate, so they'll probably go back to him.
Already around the Holyfield screen. 10 on the shot clock. Edwards, the step back. Offensive rebound and put back for Kevin McCullough.
That's where K-State's guards have to be more involved up on the glass. They've got to give some help on the inside.
And all of a sudden, it's back to a 9-point lead for the Red Raiders. Or an 8-point lead, rather, is Kansas State looking to cut into that here with Sneed. And Xavier Sneed now with 15 points. That leads the Wildcats.
Well, good job on that baseline out of bounds plays. Sneed just popped to the corner. Texas Tech got caught napping a little bit, wasn't aware.
Just over 5 minutes remaining. Red Raiders trying to bounce back after losing in Stillwater to Oklahoma State over the weekend. And TJ Holyfield with his 3rd field goal. He's got a half dozen.
Well, the motion offense, the man most open is the man that sets the screen. And good job by Holyfield. He just faced up after he set a good back screen, squared up. His man helped. He was wide open.
McGurl passes off, and he's called for the offensive foul. First foul on McGurl, who can't believe it.
Neither can Bruce Weber, and out of that whole thing that went down in the middle of the lane, McGurl, official said that he threw an elbow. Chance Moore said he cleared out space with the elbow, going to the rim. Let's take a look at it here. Oh, come on, please. Call that on every play. That's not an offensive foul. That's a horrible call.
Edwards with the Red Raiders up by 8 once again. Trying to work his way inside against Murphy. Moretti, he'll try from 3. And rebound for Antonio Gordon. Tejuan Gordon thought about trying the triple. Kansas State looking for some answers offensively here. Sloan aggressive to the basket, fouled before he could take the shot. The foul starting to mount up for Texas Tech.
Well, Terry Weimer cleaning things up down on this end after that phantom call by Chance Moore.
Saturday at noon Eastern on ESPN and the ESPN app. #1 Baylor hosts #3 Kansas at the Farrell Center in a Sonic blockbuster that helped decide the Big 12 title and a #1 overall seed in the NCAA tournament. Sloan will get another free throw here.
Well, Baylor won the game in Allen Fieldhouse because Davion Mitchell just blocked up Dotson, and no one else in this conference can guard him. But Davion Mitchell he's the best defensive guard I've seen all season long.
Yeah, for everything else that he gives Baylor, that may be his most important contribution for the Bears, his defense. Texas Tech gets it inside to Holyfield, and he'll have a free throw coming. Red Raiders opening up a 9-point advantage. TJ Holyfield with a free throw when we return.
Do you have butter lettuce over there? Yeah. Okay.
All right.
All right.
Thank you
so much.
You bet. Okay. Just try a little bit here.
Hey, Jay, can you grab that?
We'll get right on it.
Thank you. I know how much you guys love tomatoes, so I have stories to tell you about these tomatoes.
Hey! Welcome to Domino's.
That was fast.
Use Domino's Pie Pass to bypass the line and get in and out fast. Next time you carry out 3-topping Domino's pizzas for $7.99 each.
There is a house that stands strong, built on a foundation of fury, grit, and muscle, and home to only a few. Domestic, not domesticated. This is the house of Dodge. Welcome to the Brotherhood of Muscle.
With Dodge Power Dollars, more power means more cash allowance. Purchase now and get $10 per horsepower. That's $7,970 on the Dodge Challenger SRT Hellcat Redeye.
Breakfast wants you back. Try Just Crack an Egg, packed with real potatoes, veggies, meat, and cheese. Just add a fresh egg for a hot scramble in less than 2 minutes to get those warm, fuzzy feelings again. Take breakfast back. Find it in the egg aisle.
Introducing Tostitos Strips, their thickest chip yet.
And creamy avocado salsa, made with real avocados.
They're good apart,
but better together.
Hey, Martha, pass me some of that green stuff.
This outpost is in danger from the First Order. Thank you for joining the cause, and may the Force be with us.
You ready?
Are you?
Texas Tech with a 58-49 lead over Kansas State. It was a closer ball game. Cartier Diarra hasn't played in a little while as he helped get Kansas State back into this ball game. Bruce Weber not happy with some of the shot selection in that timeout. But then Tim Diarra able to hit that layup to get it back to within 2. Then a chance to tie it here, and misses the windmill dunk.
Well, listen, Cartier Diarra's got a lot of talent. We've seen it, and just not consistent enough. And you know, you can't just do your own thing out there on the floor. And the game would have been tied if he made that layup, dunk, or whatever. But he is 2 strikes and you're out tonight. I think he has seen his last moments on the court.
Yeah, if he hasn't come back into the game by now with 3:50 left, seems like Diarra's night has come to an end for Kansas State. Holyfield now with 9 after completing the 3-point play. At a 10-point lead for the Red Raiders, their largest of the second half. David Sloan handling for the Wildcats. Kansas State trying to avoid their 6th consecutive loss, which would be their longest losing streak under Bruce Weber. Sloan loses the basketball as the shot clock expired. And the Red Raiders with a chance to convert on the turnover.
Just airtight defense by Texas Tech, and not enough movement by K-State, and they're just shadowing Xavier Sneed. They won't let him touch the ball.
Deflected out of bounds by Dejuan Gordon. 13 to shoot for the Red Raiders. Texas Tech on the other side of the coin. Kansas State trying to avoid their 6th straight loss. Red Raiders coming off a loss as well at Oklahoma State, with a chance to win for the 4th time in their last 5 games. But they're able to hold on here. 3 on the shot clock. 3-pointer from the corner. Misses everything from Moretti in a shot clock violation.
Bruce is saying we can't get a break anywhere. We get the rebound and we got a run out, and they blow the whistle on the shot clock violation.
Don't forget, after our game, College Basketball Live coming up next. Don't want to miss that. 10-point game here with under 3 to play. Sure, the College Basketball Live program will have plenty to say about what happened in Raleigh earlier. NC State over Duke. Antonio Gordon with a nice finish. First basket of the 2nd half for Gordon. He's got 8.
I usually don't live too far in the future, but I just can't wait to get to Saturday and watch that game in Waco, because these are 2 teams that are going to battle for not only the conference title, but 2 teams absolutely legitimately, I think, could win the national championship. And they've been so consistent, Kansas and Baylor, all season long. Starts with their defense, but they have answers on the perimeter and inside.
Foul call with the shot clock down to 1. But you're right, and College Game Day is going to be there for that game in Waco. Should be a fun atmosphere. Of course, Baylor with the win at Allen Fieldhouse earlier this year. First time they've ever won in Lawrence. Davide Moretti, not the guy you want to foul. He led the nation in free throw shooting last year, and he's the active leader in Division I basketball, leading the Big 12 this year, and came into today 16th in the country in free throw shooting. Came in shooting a shade under 89%.
Well, Texas Tech has managed this game very well. They haven't played their best offensive game. A lot of that has been because of K-State's efforts on the defensive end and scheme. But their defense has been special as well. And there you see it right there by Holyfield.
And an excellent job catching up there by Sneed to prevent Holyfield from finishing the play. With 1:41 remaining. Ramsey to Moretti for 3, and it's been Davide Moretti's second half. That has been a big reason why Texas Tech is now up by 13.
That is what you call a perfect and quick release. Right in the pocket and right up and in.
15 of Moretti's 18 points have come since halftime. Largest lead of the night for Texas Tech. Open 3 left wing, and that's bricked by Sloan, but the follow is good for Gordon. Dejuan Gordon with his 2nd basket of the night.
This has been the Kansas State issue all conference long. They're right there. They're hanging around, and then they just have a bad 5-6 minutes and knocks them out.
Gordon hitting just the 2nd 3 of the night for Kansas State, and an injury back on the other end as Sneed is shaken up. Not exactly sure what happened, but man, he is in considerable pain right now. So take a look at that last play. in grabbing his legs there.
It just kind of came down awkwardly. He went up to defend the shot at the rim, but he came in from behind and kind of twisted as he came down.
Trying to stretch it out. I have to wonder if maybe there's an issue with crampings. Now he'll get to his feet. He helped off the court.
He's played hard tonight, that's for sure. And just trying to teach these young guys about leadership. Obviously a big part of their team a year ago that won the Big 12 title along with Texas Tech regular season. And these young guys are just trying to figure out how to get over the hump, and they've looked for Xavier Sneed for that leadership.
And he thought about leaving after 3 years, tested the waters, but ultimately decided to return to school for his senior season. Started 98 of Kansas State's last 99 games. As Kansas State back the other way.
Edwards very loose and nonchalant with that ball coming up the rim, up the floor, and it's a 5-point game.
Keep in mind, Kansas State does not have any timeouts remaining, but Chris Beard is going to use one here. So not over just yet here in Lubbock.
Now here you see coming up the floor, Kyler Edwards, a little walk in the park in downtown Lubbock, but no. Coming from behind, he's got to be aware. David Sloan was on the hunt, and good push. Going back the other way, and this K-State team still trying to hang in.
I think the best part of that was as soon as it happened, you saw Chris Beard just turn, slam his hands onto the table. Because you could see it coming if you're Beard. And some frustration there. Texas Tech trying to finish this one strong here. Kansas State will be shooting the double bonus with the next Red Raiders foul. Of course, if you're Chris Beard, that's the last thing you want to do here is start fouling. Wildcats will set up the press here. Try to get a turnover. 5-point game, 33.1 remaining. Home run pass to Ramsey, and Ramsey puts it away.
I'm not sure why Gordon didn't foul him before he went up for the shot.
Back the other way, and the foul's given there is drive to the basket by Sloan. He's got 2 free throws coming his way.
That's a nice design play, and when a team's desperate, you can throw over the top, and Ramsey came from the back end, and not enough ball pressure and not enough awareness either, and Gordon just gave up.
Dunking with 2 hands there, Ramsey, I think. After what we saw with Jota earlier, I think every player moving forward is going to be dunking with 2 hands in this game. Sloan able to knock in the first. There's Jota. We haven't seen him on the floor in a while. Bruce Weber not happy with some of his shot selection. Missed the windmill dunk that would have tied the game in a breakaway situation. It's Texas Tech trying to put the finishing touches on this one. Still a 2-possession game, though.
Already was trying to get fouled. If he would have turned and looked up court, he had 2 guys wide open, but K-State smartly waited for him to get rid of the ball. Chris is telling him over there, look up, look the other way.
So now instead of Moretti, the 89% free throw shooter, is Ramsey, who's 63% on the year. And still a 2-possession game.
That's why Gordon should have got on his high tail and fouled Ramsey before he dunked it on that last possession where they threw the home run pass.
And it's a 3-possession game. 15 for Ramsey. Sloan going to the basket. .13 seconds remaining. 5 6-point game, and the foul's given on Ramsey once again. .8 remaining. Is, you know, we've shown the stat a couple of times tonight. Kansas State 2-8 in games decided by 6 points or fewer. Really had trouble finishing out these close games, and this is certainly a game tonight that was there for the taking for the Wildcats.
Well, you could see the fire in Bruce Weber still. Obviously, he's a veteran coach, highly successful. He's not going to give up on this season. He's coaching his tail off, and his team has responded. They really have. They just don't have enough to finish these games off on the offensive end.
Sloan misses the layup. As Texas Tech about to improve to 8-5 in the Big 12 with the 69-62 victory over Kansas State. Wildcats have lost 6 in a row in Lubbock, as the Red Raiders are now 17-9, 8-5 in the league. Kansas State, meanwhile, they fall to 9-17, and they're 2-11.